Thanks for staying with us on News Hub, and welcome to our Road to 2023 part of the show. Today we'll be taking a look at a presidential race towards 2023, and we'll be asking a big question on the possibility of the third force and how parties are actually faring. But specifically, we'll be speaking with the presidential candidate on the platform of the Social Democratic Party, Adewale Adebayo. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on the program, and congratulations on your emergence as a candidate for your party.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. SDP is the party that comes readily to mind. It was the party on which the late Chief M.K. Abiola, ran his presidency in 1993, and many would have thought that it should be a party, that would have been able to stand the test of time. However, many are also very happy that the party is still standing today. Tell us more. What is going on within the party, especially now that you've emerged the presidential candidate?
Well, thank you. Thank you for historical accuracy regarding our party. We won the freest and fairest election in the history of Nigeria to date, and we presented a very good candidate at that time, a private businessman and an accountant, professional, who had never been in politics before, and he unified the country, gave us a good election, and right on the platform that's still relevant today, which was farewell to poverty. Only that now, 30 years later, we have more poverty and we have insecurity, and that's why we're saying hope again 2023, farewell to poverty and insecurity. So what's going on in the party now is that everyone who loves this country, people who think that we should give Nigerians an alternative that we're yearning for, decided to come back to this party that has good sentiments in Nigeria, that has a good plan, and we'll take the same plan in which we won our election 30 years ago, and we're bringing the plan back. And our grassroots, those who were kids at that time, were 20 years old, 15 years old, and young people that are now middle-aged, many people who have a good history of it, many elderly people who are active in that success. So we're trying to give Nigerians an alternative, because what Nigerians need at this time is a political problems of the day that's dedicated to giving food, water, light, all other amenities to the people, so that these basic needs don't become the prayer point of the people of Nigeria. They are matters of rights, and that's what the party is all about. And we are in every ward, in every local government, in every state, in every part of the country. And what we are trying to do is to make sure that we campaign as an independent third party, so that Nigerians can say, okay, now we have a choice. What is the worst thing that can happen to people in the democracy is to give them a false dilemma between choosing a very bad way on the right or a very bad way on the left. You want to give them an alternative that answers the questions of the day. And the questions of the day are we ever going to be safe in this country? Can our government keep us safe? Can our government be away from mischief? Can our resources be utilized for the people? Can we have basic competencies? Why should we have to pay for basic things as water? Why are children not in school? These are the things we need to do. And our government is going to be simple. It's just about government. It's about the people. It's about services. It's about competencies. And it's about openness, so that any young person, any competent person with ideas can access the highest office in the land and can compare on a platform that people can listen to them and their new ideas and build a new team. It's an all-inclusive government, not a government of money bags or people who are perpetuating themselves. So that's basically what is going on in the party. We're waiting for election campaign time to come, but until then, we're consulting around the country.
Yes,
sir. Some more people.
Fantastic, fantastic, Mr. Adewale. Fantastic. Yeah, these seem to be the concerns of virtually every Nigerian. All you've reeled out so far seem to be the concern of every Nigerian and every other political parties, even though the ruling party is still saying that they want to do all what you've said that you will do. How exactly does this party hope to actualize all that it has reeled out? Poverty alleviation, ensuring that the economy becomes one that can stand the test of time and all of that. How do you intend to do that as a singular party?
Okay, how we intend to do it? Well, we are not into poverty alleviation. We are into poverty eradication. No serious-minded country, would addresses poverty. You just get rid of it. What do we call poverty? You want to make sure that people don't have to struggle to eat. You don't want a family to struggle to have good housing. You don't want people to struggle for medical care. You don't want people to struggle with basic education. You don't want people to struggle with a rule of law and basic welfare. So that's if we spend just 10% of our budget and our income on these things, poverty will be eradicated within 2 years. So it's not that poverty is sticking around, it's that the government is financing poverty to stay. Because if you have good enough income for your country, as we do, if you have healthy population, working population, as we do, if you have all the basic amenities that God can give, you have sufficient water, you have enough land for agriculture, you have a healthy population that can work, you have very brilliant minds that have gone all over the world to work. So if poverty is around in that kind of setting, you know that the government is promoting poverty, basically. And how do you promote poverty, and what we will not do? We are going to ensure that you don't just come to government to steal and share the money. That's basically what's happening. If you start from local government to state level, to national level, it used to be the case that the opposition will be searching around for evidence of corruption. In this case, the government itself is reporting itself and saying we are very corrupt and our guardrails are also corrupt. The Accountant General of the Federation is being investigated for billions of naira, amounts that are even indeterminate at this point. So every level you see wastage, and that's where your poverty comes from. The poverty doesn't come from the sky. Nigerians are not born poor. Even before we had the modern government, if you read all the historical records, poverty was alien to Nigeria. Poverty is alien because in the midst of plenty, poverty does not occur naturally. Nigeria is not a desert. Nigeria is not a place where you have natural disaster. In many countries of the world where you have poverty, you will see that the environment conduces to poverty. If you are in an arid area, you cannot do agriculture, you have no access to water, you have no sufficient population, no education, you can say yes, poverty will be endemic. But in this case, the poverty itself is a program, and we are going to just come in. If you run basic services with basic honesty and competence, the poverty will go away naturally.
Mr. Adebayo, you're a legal practitioner as well as a media executive. And many would say Nigeria is such a country that's complex in any way you want to view it. The insecurities there, economic woes that you've talked about, education has been on strike for a while, agriculture, food security is a challenge in the country. Do you want me to continue to list out the challenges we have presently as a nation? How do you think your party, SDP, will be able to solve all these in record time of 4 years? You think it's a possibility?
Yeah, it is, because all of these problems are just symptoms of one problem, and that problem is bad governance. So if you remove bad governance, they go away. If you talk about insecurity, I mean, if we are not sugarcoating it, insecurity is a program of the government. There is no government that can say we are not able to get rid of bandits. If with the amount of money available to them, with the size of the country, with the traditional strength of the army and the security agencies, you will see that insecurity is being perpetuated by the government because a lot of money is being made off that. So it is not that the bandits are bulletproof, it's not that the bandits are infeasible. It is the case, if you look at what happened in my state, where some killers went to a religious center to kill people. The community rose to the occasion, and from information I'm getting, they're apprehending people who are supposedly to have come from the Sahel, from trained in Libya and all of that. But the community is making effort to root them out of the forest where they are. I gave an example earlier when we were on a campaign to Zamfara State, and my aides told me, and campaign people told me, we couldn't pass because the bandits were all over the place. And a few hours later, they said, well, we can pass now. What happened? Local hunters were procured, and local hunters chased away the bandits. So I said, okay, if there are bandits that can be chased away by local hunters, and the army can't chase them away, that's a rich irony, but I'm going to put a stop to that. So don't let them make it look like the problems are intractable. There isn't anything intractable about keeping people safe. If the aim is to keep people safe, not that you say, okay, ordinarily I would like to steal money, but I can use insecurity as a basis. So the same thing for education. If you don't steal the money in church fund, you have enough money, fund ASU 10 times over. If the money, I don't have to look for the money, I only have to stop stealing the money, and that's it. The same thing is true for many things. We have money for our roads. So bad governance is the problem. And bad governance has two elements. One, people go there to steal money, which is bad enough. Secondly, they put all their energy on that and they no energy on actual governance. You go anywhere in Nigeria, you cannot write a letter to any government office and get a reply. Is that so complex, writing a reply? No. It's because everybody is busy with their face in the trap, just looking for where to put in their own pocket. If you stop that, all other problems will go away. It's nothing complicated there.
2015, when this government came into office, it took them about 6 months before we had ministers to man key positions in this government. Many watchers of the economy did say that this administration were just all about grabbing power with no blueprint on governance. I'm asking you this question right now. Why shouldn't I think that the SDP is just about grabbing power, and how much work have you done around key governance issues should you make it to 2023 presidency?
First, we are unlike them because what we see is that we are ready from day one. Two, the actual person who can run the government is the person in front of you. So we're not putting just a titular person there, and the real power is behind somewhere. What also, because we know the issues at stake, basically what you need to do in Nigeria today is that we need to realize that to be president of Nigeria is not a cup of tea. It's not something simple. One, over 5,000 appointments you need to make in the executive branch within the first few weeks if you want to be successful. Now the executive powers are vested in one man, so that one man should be critically examined. He needs to know all the issues. It's not someone who needs basic helps in understanding basic things. So those are the changes we are making. Number one, we are showing that the presidency doesn't work against the president, which has been the case in the last 7 years. So you don't have invisible hands confusing the whole thing. Two, that the president has an adequate knowledge of what the issues are. You don't get to government and say, oh my God, I didn't know it was this bad. That's what they said, and that's wrong. So thirdly, you want to make sure that you look around when you look at pictures, don't look at the person who's talking alone, look around him, look to the right, look to the left. If the problems you are going to solve, the merchants of those problems are actually to the right or to the left of the candidate, and you see the candidate spending money that doesn't belong to him or belong to ordinary people, you see the candidates go around with people who are benefiting from the crisis of the day. Because what Nigerians need to understand is that none of our problems is complex. Many of the services being rendered by the federal government could easily be rendered by any competent local government. But the issue there is that for everything you cry about in this country, for every problem that worries you, that is where somebody makes his money. And those people become the permanent government. You can't change them. So you keep changing the president, you keep changing, but they are there permanently. So 80% of the government is already fixed by then. Unless the SDP wins, you're going to have the same people back again. Maybe they will rotate them from one ministry to the other, Somebody was a minister of state will become minister now. Some will go back and governor. So you have this terrible GSM, governor, senator, minister, and then they rotate it all over again until they don't have enough head to do it, then they put somebody there. So you don't change anything. So you keep changing. It's just like changing your wardrobe without taking a shower. So this is the problem that we've been facing. So SDP is coming to clear a problem which we used to have, which was that not only were the dominant parties.
We have to go now, but in 30 seconds, some of the view that SDP may have a lot of challenge to face if it has to grab power from the ruling party. And are you considering the possibility of a merger? Please, let's do this in only 30 seconds. Are you looking at the possibility of alignment with other parties, going to alliance with other parties so that you can come together to work and win the election? In 30 seconds, please.
We've been looking at that for the past 2 years. You will have noticed that before I became the SDP president candidate, I was in the steering committee of the third force. So when we're talking, we have good people around us. We are talking about that. But SDP on its own has structures all over the country, and we align with the people. But there are many people who have similar views with us, and we'll be talking to them. We're talking to them every day to ensure that SDP, PRP, and some elements in the other political parties come together and give Nigeria a formidable opposition. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adewale Adebayo, the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP. We wish you the best all the time.
Thank you. Thank you to viewers as well.
All right, thank you so much. You're still watching News Hub. We take